you mentioned something interesting, which is kind of thematic elements going throughout song and recurring elements.
Yeah.
So in this day and age where there is a single culture in a way, can I assume then that you still look for that cohesive whole?
Yes. I mean, I clearly like, I mean, I love the concept of albums, and that's what I always grew up loving. And then as I started writing songs, wanted to make something that people wanted to put on and flip it again and flip it again, you know, just to get lost in music. And so, yeah, it's a single culture, and I guess, you know, attention spans get smaller, but to me it's still important just artistically to create the space. And regardless, even if it is a single culture, we're still, you know, albums are still coming out, and it's like, why not make the best thing we can, you know? I mean, that's going to be 45 minutes long, regardless of if you're just like, well, I got one song and the rest doesn't matter. It's still the same amount of time, so let's make them beautiful from not only the music and these threads, but from the artwork, you know, that you have nowadays many opportunities where you have a vinyl or something where you have a piece of art that's in someone's home that's fairly large. It's like, make that beautiful and involved, and that becomes attached to the album. And then the music and the art and this other world evolves, and your attachment and emotional kind of, you know, commitment to it changes the whole thing. It's bigger. That's why albums become magical, you know? It's not just the one song, and it's not just the album. It's your experience really in connection with it. And that's the beauty that I find in music more and more, is the, you know, connecting human beings and like the human experience coming together through sounds, you know.
Right. In that sense, tying the album together, do you think of certain elements, or do you have a vision of what an album will be as you are writing for the album, or does that become apparent afterwards?
It really has become kind of something that happens as the songs are being written, you know, and especially with the studio now. So, you know, I have the studio, so in the past, you know, I was making records, and we would, like my second record, Barn Doors, we made in a barn, and like since then that's kind of been a theme, and that's kind of what my studio now was sort of based on back then, of going to the country and making a record, you know. But the difference being that it's not a makeshift studio. You can walk in and go to work, you know. So that's changed. This is the first time I've been able to write entirely in the studio and demo and come up with these ideas, because they're just sounds around. You know, it's like I'll normally have everything mic'd, everything plugged in, like organs plugged in, pianos mic'd, there's a mic on the amps, you know, just where if I'm, you know, feeling something that it can just go. Songs can start on any instrument, you know, songs, you know. So I think that that started to shape my production through almost like, you know, also I'll listen to things and like, oh, I think I know how to pull that off, and like, so that's grown for me a lot in the production sense of having the studio and be able to work with equipment on a daily basis and pushing faders and cranking stuff, you know. So
the ability to explore and experiment.
Exactly.
Okay, can you just push it out a little bit? Yes, thank you. Well, people say art is often a reflection of life, and then so is that true for you, that every album it takes you back to a certain period in your life, a certain span of you?
Yes, it's, for me, it's, someone told me a long time ago that records are records because they're records in time, just like any kind of document would be a record, and it's a record of the artist's life in that section, you know. And for me, this is kind of the last year and a half, 2 years of just kind of going through a lot of thinking about purpose and intention and what my goals are in life, kind of bigger questions, and I kind of came out of that of kind of just a deep reflective, up and down, you know, deep kind of self-inquiry kind of time, and was writing along those points, you know. So like lyrically, there's a lot of more deeply kind of personal elements on this album, or it's less shrouded in prose or something, you know. There's a little more, some little more specifics on this lyrically.
In that sense, asking those big questions, was that confronting in a way, or euphoric? Kind of, did you find answers?
Yes, it was both, and I think that's, you know, that's part of the journey is, you know, and maybe that's part of the yin and the yang and the balance of the whole thing is that through those questions, there's a lot of stark realities that are scary. But then for me, there was also the euphoria of finding peace from those, and more greatly seeing how music continues to be this this vessel to bring me to places like Amsterdam or wherever I'm at outside of Texas, and that my goal and passion is simply that, is just to create music and to connect with people, and that's what I think that because I think that you can play stages and it's exciting and but sometimes you know there has to be more than just playing on a stage and having a cool Instagram picture or something, you know, and I went through just realizing how deeply that was connecting with fans, and just that music, bigger than me and bigger than them, that it's music can bring us together, can take me out of Texas, and we can, you know, celebrate and share something, you know, in this world of division, and that, you know, no matter who we are, we can share in this thing together, you know, so.
What is one thing that you remember that sticks out when a fan told you about your music or about what your music did with for them?
One that really sticks out, you know, I've tried to always try to create an emotional kind of space in my music, and I was, the last tour cycle we were in France, and we played a show, and it was after the Bataclan, the mass shooting, and like 5 months after. So I mean, we were a little nervous to be there, and after the set, it was like we were like packing and stuff, and a guy was kind of just hanging out, just kind of waiting and wanting to talk, and I went up to him, and he said that that was the last show he'd attended. So this is the first show. My show was the first one he had come to since that Eagles of Death metal concert, and he just wanted to let me know how important it was to be able to come back to music and to have that night. And we just got to have a human experience and connect, and to share with him how much it meant to me that music and life is going on for you, you know. So that was a very strong moment. You know.
So the title "Lifted" is that where it comes from, kind of to lift people up to?
Yeah, the levity of the soul. You know, I feel that I write a number of like political elements continue to ruffle my soul, my feathers, and I'll write songs like that. But this was a space that I wanted to reflect on some other topics, and sometimes I feel that I wanted to focus on people where they could focus on themselves or be thinking about some stuff, even if it's just for a minute. You know, it's like I just always wanted my music to be a little more than just like rock and roll, you know, stomping your foot or something. And so I think that equally I wanted to, I think it's not until we have those self-reflective and kind of like times that within ourselves that that's when we can really affect the world around us, you know. So that's what I'm trying to figure out how to do in more and more ways, is to just continue to play music and make a bunch of records and be myself and invite people into my world, and as they've invited me into theirs, and hopefully we can change it by changing the world around us, as small or big as it is, you know, if it's just making life better and the world better for people around us, you know.
And you mentioned kind of the community of it, and then going to New York where you met your community
Yeah.
in a way, and then all of it. So what can you tell me about from the Hills with Love?
Oh, From the Hills of Love. That is my festival, my little baby there. It's we just had the 3rd year, and it's hosted. It's like on my ranch. So there's an outdoor stage, full production and lighting company comes in. It's mini festival, food trucks, drinks. There were shuttle buses that go back and forth to Austin, and we just had 600 people there in March, which was amazing. And it was exactly that, Robin. I was just walking around, my place with all these, sharing it with these people that were just smiling from ear to ear. So there was just a lot of love on the land, and that's exactly what I wanted to do, is share how much that the land has impacted my life, and I wanted to end with music and all that crossover and share that with other people, and it's been beautiful.
So there's going to be an exhibition?
Yes, we're going to keep going. You get out there, you'd have a ticket, I promise you.
Sure. If I'm ever around, I'll let you know.
You should get out there.
Final question then. You talked about the kind of the sonic landscape and then the cohesiveness. So is there a way you'd love people to hear your album and then to take away a certain thing, or is that totally up to them?
A way in terms of like where they're listening, or
yeah, maybe maybe on headphones, or maybe on outside, like you mentioned.
Yeah,
outside,
I think
nice weather, barbecue.
I think it's a headphone. I think I always try to make headphone albums. Not that they're limited to headphones, but
Right.
it's where the secrets are. That's what I tell people. It's like, if you want to hear some more secrets, put those on. I think it's, though, just as much as headphones, it's for a dusty road with your windows down. Seeing nature and connecting music to nature around you. Whether it be rain or shine. I think just connecting it with nature is definitely a good setting for the trip.
It's kind of a way to take your mind off of the drudgery of life.
Yes, yes.
All right, Israel, thank you very much for your time.
Robin, thanks so much. Yeah.
Thank you.
Appreciate it, brother.